Got to be good. Hi everyone, welcome to Easy Collective, and we're doing a little, it's not a podcast, but an interview with some fabulous people that I've known for quite a long time. Wendy Andrews, hi Wendy, and her Pixie, I don't know if Pixie's there with you just now. Wendy's a bereavement counsellor and an author of How to Recover Your Pet Loss. And what she's doing is just supporting you on your journey to acceptance. I met Wendy, God, was about 4 years ago. We were on
I think it's a bit more than that, actually.
5 years ago, I can't remember. We were doing a blogging session, and I've never done any blogging since then. But I know Wendy did. You were doing travel, weren't you, at the time?
Yes, I've still got my weekends with Wendy travel blog.
Fantastic.
And that's Pixie's Trail, everybody can see, just in case anybody's wondering what that strange thing is.
Very, very soon. I'm sure she'll be getting into the shop very shortly.
Oh, absolutely.
We've also got Vera Cloe Zebrowska. Hi,
hello,
Vera.
everyone.
And Vera's a brand visual content and headshot photographer. And I met Vera. Vera came along to EDC Collective about 4 years ago.
Yeah, something
it was
like
about that. When we used to do our face-to-face events, which seems a long and distant past. And I really miss those times. And then, last but not least, Frank C. McGowan, we're going to call him now. And Frank's from Bad Pony Media Productions and Braw TV. He also does Hollywood Insight podcast as well, which is really exciting. So we'll get to know a bit more about Frank. And Frank and I were trying to figure out where did we meet and when did we meet, and we can't for the life of us remember when that was.
I know it's been so long. Like, I'm sure it was at an event somewhere, and you were, because I remember you talking about setting up the networking side of things. And I remember being like, oh, this lady's going places. She's doing things differently. And we connected on LinkedIn, I think it was first. And then Twitter, Instagram, every other platform you were on at the time stalked you. And then we took it from there.
Collaborating, going in there. Yeah, so that was the case. It's probably about 5 years ago then, Frank, because that's when I was looking to take
Must
over
be.
at that point. So yeah, so we've all kind of known one another for quite a while. But what we're here for is you guys, and it was about collaboration and why at networking events when you go there.
Sorry, the dog's excited to see his mummy.
It's not about you and what you do in your business. It's about getting to know the people behind the business. And this is what these three have done. And I was just really excited of what's come about from them coming along and meeting at our Cheesy Chat Fridays, which, it sounds very cheesy and it usually is, and it's normally a good laugh. But I wanted to know, did you guys know one another beforehand, or how did you all get to know one another?
Well, I knew Vera, but I didn't know Wendy yet. But I knew Vera.
No, I hadn't met anyone.
I think that I kind of I would start with Fiona and Instant Connections, and Frank, different channels, and then Wendy.
And so did you guys, so you all actually met up at a Cheesy Chat Friday, did you, at one session?
Yeah.
I don't think Vera was at that particular chat.
No, I wasn't. No,
because Frank and I met and just hit it off, and I was very flattered when Frank said, that he really believed in what I was doing, because at that point I was just kind of at the very beginning stage of writing my book, How to Recover from Pet Loss, and Frank was like, oh, this is really great. And he'd told me his story about losing his pet previously. And I told Frank about the book, and just completely on board, so supportive, asked if there was anything he could do to help. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, there's loads you can do to help. And I had seen Vera's work through the EEC group. So I had been stalking Vera for quite some time in the background, having never actually met her. And when it came to the time of doing an author's picture for my book, she was the first person that I thought of, because I knew that she did lovely, lovely pictures. So yeah, that's how it came about from my perspective.
Have you got a little picture of the book there?
Oh.
No, but I can. I'm sorry. I was not.
Which one?
Yeah.
I was not prepared for that. I'm sorry. Excuse me,
That's all right.
Pixie.
That's okay. So Frank and Vera, how did you two get to know one another?
Well, initially, Vera and I had met at an event, and Vera was doing the event photography at it, and we got chatting, and she gave me a business card, but I actually lost her details. And then it was like later on at EEC we reconnected, and then again later on again when we collaborated after. Sorry, not collaborated, planned to collaborate at an event because Vera invited me along to one of her launch events, which was fantastic. It was showcasing her work and the kind of unique side of what makes Vera particularly different to other photographers. So we connected there, made big plans, but then COVID hit, and we never actually got to do it. But we've stayed in touch, and then we reconnected again through EEC. And similar to Wendy, we connected again through virtual social media. Because Wendy and I, even though I've been working with Wendy now for 3.5 months, I think, something like that, but we haven't actually been in the same room yet. Working virtually, we've not been in the same room yet. But like, as soon as I'm able to, big squeezy hugs because you're awesome, Wendy, and your book's so fantastic.
Thank you.
That is true.
Yes, that's fair.
Brilliant.
There's a black Labrador on the front, but you can't really see it, unfortunately, on the screen. But I designed the cover myself. I'm quite proud of that. Because my parents were Labrador breeders, so Labradors have always been a big sort of big love of mine, even though Pixie's a Pomeranian Chihuahua.
What's on the back of it, Wendy?
The back is Vera's lovely picture of myself and Pixie.
Oh.
Fantastic.
It's a great photo.
Thank you.
Very photogenic.
Very,
the dog's very photogenic.
me not so much, but the
There
dog's
was-
very
No, they were
photogenic.
fantastic. They were absolutely amazing, both of them. It was really
Thanks.
pleasure to take photos of them both. So
They turned out brilliantly, better than I could ever have hoped for, because I'm not used to that. That's way out of my comfort zone. So Vera was wonderful, very professional, put me in my friend who came along completely at ease. And Pixie, she is a natural model. You know, she's such a poser. She'll pose away. She stole the show. So I imagine it. If from doing any book tours or anything like that, I will be completely upstaged by my dog.
That's what it's all about. Well, that's what your book is about. And stuff.
Yeah.
So how,
they're such a big part of everybody's life, so that's really, why the impact is, so intense. Because the human companion animal bond is so strong. She goes everywhere with me, and even though I'm a pet bereavement counsellor, I know I'll be absolutely devastated when the time comes.
and it's about helping others in that. And there's so many, but I think a lot of people, and then I never had pets as a kid, and I didn't get my first dog until I was my mid-30s, I think it was. And so I didn't have an understanding what the bond was, because you used to go, stupid people talk to their dogs, because, I never had that, so I didn't understand that. But when you do have your own pet, you do talk to it, it's like another person in your life kind of thing. And the loss is massive. But a lot of us will probably hide it because we think, everyone understands that. Not everyone who's had pets can actually understand that side of it. It is a big hole.
That's called disenfranchised grief. And that's something that I'm on a bit of a mission to combat. It's the people that say, oh, it's just a dog, or are you going to get another cat? And they completely invalidate people's feelings of grief. So that's a really, really big thing for me, that I want to speak about pet loss as much as I can, so that it becomes normalised and that people don't have their feelings invalidated. And it's just a really important thing for me to get the message out there. And I'm so happy that you guys are helping me to help other people, because the whole point of the book, writing it during lockdown, was as a low-cost alternative to counselling, because these are financially uncertain times, times of social restriction as well. And I just thought, what can I do? I still want to be productive. I still want to help people. People are maybe losing their jobs or worried about spending money. They perhaps can't afford counselling. So I still wanted to reach out. So I felt that writing a book was the right thing to do. And I did a fantastic course with a lady called Amy Vida Estacio. She's a doctor of psychology, and she runs Self-Publishing Made Easy. And my friend Julie, she's a life coach, and she kind of suggested, let's do this together. And she's just released her book, Intentional Happiness. And as I say, when we were on the cheesy chat on the Friday, everything just seems to have magically come together. And I ended up being a #1 hot new release on Amazon in the US. So, teamwork makes the dream work, absolutely. And it just shows the power of the EEC bringing everybody together to do something good for, everybody, for the greater good.
Definitely. I think as well, your books get such a positive message. It's not, people maybe would look at the cover and go, oh, I don't know, what to expect from a book like that, or, it's going to be quite sad. It's actually quite empowering. And it kind of gives you the kind of, a lot of people do play down your grief when you've lost a pet, and imagine it the other way around. Oh, your granny died, you've got another one, you're thinking about getting another auntie. Like, do you know what I mean? It's totally insane when you put it that way. And when you're looking at the eyes of any wee animal, like, there's a wee soul in there, a wee personality, a wee person. And you form a bond with them. But people can be so cruel, and I don't think it's even sometimes necessarily that they don't understand. I think some people just don't care. They just do not care. And the book's kind of trying to get rid of all the stigma, because people can feel like, oh, I can't say that. Or, for instance, in the workplace, like, I know when my dog died, and he was put to sleep the day before his 20th birthday, and I'd had him since I was a little boy, and he'd saved my life on one occasion as well. I get jumped, and he stopped the guy from smashing my head in with a brick. And, so these are kind of bonds that formed, and I was there with him in his last moments, and, as sad as it was, I'm glad it was the way it was. And then to have people like, really, you need to get over it. Like, I think you need to, start acting practically. Like, can't let this affect your business. And I'm like, And then in the workplace, Wendy's approaching it to try and get rid of that stigma, because some people are like, I don't want to say to my boss that I need some time off, like, because I've got, my mental health is poor because I've lost my pet. It could be a parakeet, a goat, like a hedgehog, anything, a snail, a pet snail. People have emotional bonds, little animals, little wee personalities. We need to recognise it, and I think the workplaces do need to kind of get with the times on that. And
that's absolutely right. It's not species specific by any means. That particularly, when you're saying about emotional support animals and things like that, can be any species. And a project that I'm working on just now is developing corporate packages. And that's really, support in the workplace, because, people have lost their jobs because they've been too grief-stricken to work, and they've been fired. And I find that incredible, because it makes better business sense to give somebody a day or two off to get their head around what's happened, process their emotions, just to take a time out. So for a day or two, for them not being there, if they were there, they wouldn't be productive. Their mind would be elsewhere. They'd be more likely to make mistakes, maybe even have an accident. So to give them a day or two off is a compassionate thing to do, and it would strengthen the relationship between employer and employee. And, it's good PR as well for the company, because they're seen as a compassionate employer. And Richard Branson basically said, if you look after your employees, they'll look after your business. So it makes really good business sense to just show that little bit of compassion. And, I'm happy to consult with companies. I'm happy to be, on standby if I'm needed. If they want to say, look, if we can offer our employees a block of 3 sessions or a block of 6 sessions, just to help them through this time. And as Frank says, to support them and their mental health, because it is, you go through the 5 stages of grief and more, because there's anticipatory grief, and then there's the DABDA model, which was developed by Dr. Elizabeth Kübler-Ross, and that's denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then acceptance. So that's why the book is called Supporting You on Your Journey to Acceptance. You know, so there's a lot of things, and then you've got guilt thrown in there in the mix as well for all different circumstances. So I really wanted to, you know, sort of develop the book to show people what to expect, then how to support other people, how to support children, how to support friends and employees and things like that. And then the last chapter is healthy coping mechanisms. So I really wanted to just take people by the hand through the whole process of what they may encounter. They may have some of the feelings of these emotions. They may have all of them in different order, but I just, you know, wanted to do something to let people know what to expect, how to cope with it. And it's also a thoughtful gift for somebody that maybe doesn't know what to say genuinely, but does care, you know, and they don't want to say the wrong thing. So it's a kind of, I don't know what to say, but this book might be helpful. After all, it was a #1 hot new release on Amazon. Just saying. With a wonderful photograph on the back. But, you know, it's wonderful to me that the EEC was there, you know, and it was just like a pot of talent that I could just reach into and find these incredibly creative, wonderful people who have the skills that I don't have. So I'm eternally grateful for you, Fiona, to have brought us all together to, you know, sort of help me to help other people. It's wonderful.
I was going to ask, so Frank, so your part on it, helping Wendy get to her #1 spot. What did you do to help Wendy on that journey?
The simplest way to put it is Wendy's got the awesome. I just tell people about the awesome. That's the way I see it. But it's really just down to good PR and media opportunities. I've been a media professional now for a long time. I won't tell you how long, but more than 10 years. But being a media professional, I've met a lot of people that are always anxious to know, you know, I want to know about stories, I want to know about people, I'm looking for a feature, I want something photographic, I'm looking for a story, TV opportunities, radio, podcasts, that kind of thing. So when Wendy came to me and said, this is what I'm doing and this is my plan, I was like, okay, let's facilitate some things. And I think some of the early things we'd done, Wendy, was, if I'm correct, North Lanarkshire TV was one of them, wasn't it?
We didn't quite get to them.
You're right. You've got an email from him to look out for.
Yeah.
Yes, he didn't email me back. But I was on the Susan Sutton radio show. We did that. Yes, she's lovely. And I've been on, you know, various podcasts and things. I'm you know, member of a podcast group on social media, so I've been kind of tapping into all available resources. You know, so.
The press are quite hard sometimes to approach because it's a case of who do you approach, how do you approach them. A lot of the times it's generic email addresses, but what we've got at Bad Pony, we've got something like 500 plus journalists in the local national arena who we can approach and go, hey, this person's working on this really cool project, have a look. We've had to adapt it slightly because of COVID, because normally most of that is done over a coffee where you take the journalist out for a coffee, you pay for the coffee, give them the story, and then they follow up. But with things changing as they have been, we've been using a lot of digital services. So we basically package Wendy as a product and say, this is the product, this is what Wendy does. We worked together on a few press releases, didn't we, when we put them out, and we got various kind of feedback from people on, okay, that would be good for this, so entertainment, this would be good in the kind of business sector because of Wendy being an entrepreneur, and other people were like, just PR-wise, Wendy's personality, because, you know, I've got to say, Wendy didn't need any media coaching at all, and a lot of people come to me specifically for that, for coaching about, you know, when I'm on TV or when I'm on radio, what do I say? How do I act? How do I reply to something? Wendy didn't need any of that coaching at all. She was already up here with that. It was just literally facilitating Wendy with some contacts. So we reached out to people like Maureen Kelly, North Lanarkshire Live, Susan Sutton, even sent a wee message across to Whoopi to let her know, Ellen DeGeneres, a few people that kind of had lost a pet or know what it's like to lose a pet. And we've also got Jean-Claude Van Damme who Wendy already met previously, and reached out to him again through his publicist. And again, we're hoping for some photo opportunities with him with the book. The problem is at the moment, just because everything's digital and, having to, the options were we send you the ebook, but then just print you a copy of it and give you the cover to wrap around an existing book, or we can send you the book. So there's a couple of options, but in this kind of post-COVID world, it's just about thinking around the problems and how we go about making them an opportunity. And Wendy's already got such fantastic reviews herself. I mean, if you look on the Amazon for the book, the reviews are fantastic, and it's just that's what Wendy talks about in changing lives. It's about actually changing lives, complementing lives, and helping people with a journey that's such a difficult thing to happen. A lot of people, we don't get taught that, by our parents. We don't get taught that by schools. You kind of learn it on the job almost. It's when you have a pet and you lose it. But the book gives you the kind of essential toolkit for what you need and what you need to consider, what you need to think about. But also, when you have a friend, it's when the best way to support them. So the book is really an essential toolkit, and that's the way we've put it out to the media. And over the next few, and I've not told you a lot of this, Wendy, but I might well now, better than ever. Women's on Magazine want to do a feature on you. A good few podcasts have reached out. A couple of magazines want to do an editorial. The one that we were talking about giving your story, they've also taken that on board, so they'll be in touch with a fee attached to that, so they'll be in touch. But they want you and Pixie. It's both of you in the contract, so... And they insisted, again, because they can see Pixie and you on the cover of the book. And, Vera, it might even be a chance to showcase some of your photography on that as well, because that'll be national magazine. So again,
they've got really nice photographs. I'm not sure if you've seen all of it, but we managed to do really great job at the day when we met and we had a photo shoot, and they were both collaborating amazingly. Pixie was stealing the show, Wendy was trying to catch up with her. All went absolutely fantastic. So I was very pleased with them, and was, again, as you said, the story, the idea, and the planning, it's all together was kind of working very well. And I am also a big believer with helping people to overcome their struggle, their emotional struggle. So the whole story, which Wendy, put to the book, and then just work with her, talk about it. We were talking about the book through the photo shoot as well. I was getting to know them through the photo shoot as well. And that was the whole idea of the photo shoot as well, to show personality. Who is she? What she does? I think that we've done that pretty much well. Yeah.
Wendy is an ideal PR client when you're talking about someone. Get a lot of people coming to us and saying, "Okay, I want you to promote me," or particularly actors. They come to us. Actors aren't good at being themselves because they play other people. So when it comes to PR and their personal life and their own story, they're slightly apprehensive. And most business people, entrepreneurs, people with a business mindset, are like, rabbit in headlights when it comes to the media. A lot of them think, "Yep, I'll be fine with this," and then you put the camera on, and they're like, and then they're a bit frightened when it happens. Wendy's been ideal in the spotlight, because one of Wendy's most used responses to me when I'm saying such and such wants you for the show, she's like, "Yeah." That's her response, and that's a great response to have. A lot of people, you have to kind of coax them, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not so sure about that. I don't know. I'm not too sure." I think those people are back at the door. I do apologise for the noise in the background. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, basically, I'm just a chatterbox who would attend the opening of an envelope. That's basically probably the reason why I'm quite easy for Frank to work with.
I think it's all fantastic, and it is all, I love collaboration and people collaborating. But if anybody out there that wants to start doing some collaboration and then maybe meeting at an event or a network, how did you initiate it? What tips would you give somebody to initiate, to reach out? Because I know I'm an advocate to say to everybody, ask for help and you'll get it, as you just asked. But I don't do it myself. I never ask for help. I'm very bad at doing that. But I think it is that thing. If you just ask, there's always someone there. How did you initiate it?
I'd agree with that 100%. I am a very independent person, and I live by myself, I work by myself, and I'm quite happy. lockdown has had zero negative effect on me whatsoever. I know it's not been easy for a lot of people, but I am sociable, and I've got lots of friends, lovely family, but I'm equally quite happy, on my own, doing my own thing, being quite busy. But I think when I did a bit of a SWOT analysis about my, sort of strengths and weaknesses and things like that, and I thought there's a lot of things that I really don't know. And the EEC has got so many talented people there. And I happened to have a free afternoon because I wasn't walking dogs. I've also got a dog walking business, and I wasn't walking dogs at that time because of lockdown. So I thought I'll hop on the cheesy chat and get involved, because most times I can't do it because it happens in the middle of the day, which is, when everybody wants their dogs walked. So I thought I'll hop on, introduce myself, say hi to people. And I was just so overwhelmed and blown away with how friendly everybody was and how approachable. And I didn't outright ask Frank for help. It was just like I told him what I can do. And he was like, what can I do to support you? He was just so enthusiastic, and it was wonderful. So, I would say ask for the help. But sometimes you don't even need to ask for the help if you just, sort of bring the subject up and, talk about it. There's a lot of people that are willing to, put themselves forth and say, how can I help you to achieve your goal? So I would say, talk about what you're doing.
I think,
for sure.
Ask, yeah.
I think that I will jump here, because I feel like mentioned that's probably also a great thanks to you, Fiona, because you managed to create really friendly environment when actually you don't have to. You're going there and you really meet genuinely friendly people. And if they have a chance to help you, they will offer help. And I think that got me. The first time I went to the EC, I was like sitting on the corner, was very shy, and I was really thinking like, I want to know her. They're cool. I won't be like them. Wow, what I have to do. So, but then you're approaching people, and exactly as Wendy said, I had the same situation with Frank. We started chatting, and we just took off. And it was great ideas. Was really easy to talk about what I love, what I can do, and we were just the ideas were popping up. So really, thank you for the creating space that when that can happen, and really, really thanks for the fact that it's still happening, even if we can't meet in person. So thanks for that. Yay!
I miss the hugs. I miss the hugs.
100%.
Yeah. Also, the other thing, and for me, is you have a lot of networking events you go to, which are only one sector is allowed in there. We'll not name names, but for me, I don't believe in competition, because I think again it's that thing of collaboration. And I know, Vera, you've met a lot of other photographers in EEC and in different events, and I think you've actually worked together with some of the photographers, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I'm with you with this one. There's not such a thing like a competition, to be honest with you, because I am me, and we even may do the same thing, but we're gonna do it differently. And the personality, it's the thing. I could be great photographer for someone because someone click with me. I will find out the same things. They will like my way to work. They will like, I do love to spend more time with people. I also love to hearing their stories. I really want to evolve. I really want to create with them. I don't really like be just subcontractor, getting paid, do the job, there's the door. I really, what I enjoy the most is be a part of something bigger, and that's what happened here. I'm absolutely delighted. I'm supporting Wendy with all my heart. I'm really, really, really pleased with her success. I'm really pleased with everything what Frank does. I'm really happy for you, Fiona, when I see, your thing blossoming. That's me, and that's what makes me happy. So I may not be this, the piece of cake for everyone, and that's all right. Absolutely fine.
You were the piece of cake for me. You were definitely the piece of cake.
I think that should set cup of tea, but that's all right.
Tea and cake go perfectly together. But no, I as I say, I had seen your posts in the group page, and when it sort of became apparent I would need a photographer to do a brand shoot or to develop an author's picture for me, and I just thought that's the photographer I want, because I had work and I thought it was wonderful. And I looked on your website. Sorry if I sound like such a creep.
The websites and the posts are to look at them. That's what it does.
Yeah. So I totally stalked you and then got in touch and basically said, hi, I've been following you on the E. I need your help.
Wendy was talking about. I think you only mentioned the photographer that I'm working with, and I said, well, if you get let down by her, I know someone really, really good for it. And then when I mentioned Vera, and then she was like, oh, it's Vera that I'm speaking to, and I had no idea that she'd already connected with you through EEC. So I was like, oh, right, we're talking about the same person, then that's cool.
So we were all on the same page and worked as a team together and created this lovely book.
Again, Vera, you mentioned stories, and that's really what it's about from a PR side of view. Because a lot of people come to me and they're like, okay, can you get me Facebook ads? Can you get me, I want a TV ad? And, we do make TV adverts and we do things like that. But advertising and PR are two different things. PR is about generating a relationship with your public and with your end users and developing a relationship and then nurturing it. And you can only do that through stories and personality and people. So it's not a case of promoting Wendy's product as such as being the book, or promoting Wendy as an entrepreneur who provides A service, B service, C service. It's Wendy as a person and those things that come with her story and her journey. That's the thing that gets you publicity in terms of PR. That's what gets you a feature and a story magazine. That's what gets you sitting on the couch with Bonnie and Kelly. That's what gets you, people tweeting and sharing about your book because they shared your story. That's what they want. And I don't care if I've got to half that couch in two and drag a bit to get to social distance. You're sitting on that couch. Don't you worry. But yeah, it's all about stories, and it's about sharing those stories, people connecting and engaging with those stories. And I ultimately say to anybody in the EEC community that if you've got a story about your business or how you came to be an entrepreneur, share it. And, if you want some ideas and you want to bounce them off me, please do. Arrange a free Skype session. We offer free Skype sessions with people to chat about their business and see if working with Bad Pony Media is right for you. We offer, like I said, mentoring, advertising, media training, and just PR engagement. Is really, really important to have that as part of your ideal. So you've got advertising, radio, TV, podcasts, magazines, printed media, online media, blogs. There's so many opportunities. And again, going to what Vera said, very important on the visual aspect of it. A lot of people put a lot of time and money into one part and then they leave the visual. You go to their website and you see they've got a tiny, tiny little picture and it tells no story. If you've got a picture on your website or pictures on your social media, those pictures must tell a story, and that's where someone comes in because she can help generate your story and Frankenstein into your photograph. Your photograph tells a story. Wendy's story is she's got personality, she's got pizzazz, she's an entrepreneur, and Pixie's there, and Pixie's the brains behind things. She's pulling the wee strings like Ratatouille.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. I agree. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic, guys. I'm so pleased we managed to get together. You've no idea how long it took us to get on today. Technology is wonderful when it works and when it doesn't.
It really is.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming on and telling the story and just sharing that it's all about, and for me, it's about collaboration. For me, my belief is one size doesn't fit all, and I get that. And it's try before you buy, because not everything's for everybody. It's like what you said, Vera. You're not everyone's cup of tea. And nobody is. The world's a big place, and I think it's that there's opportunities out there. But if you just open up, and Wendy, what you're saying is, just tell your story, get it out there, because unless you say it, nobody knows. And if you're keeping it to yourself, nobody's ever going to find out about it. And then get people like Frank on board to just help you push it that bit further and get known out there once you've got your story.
I think as well with stories, Fiona, you do quite a good job in the EEC community of being able to let people reflect on, the successes of their business, their pain points, things that they're doing, things they've got coming up. You're very interactive, and as a host and like an entrepreneur behind the EEC, that's something that's great and sets you apart from other people that do similar things, because they don't offer that level of engagement and support and getting people together. It's a case of pay a subscription, attend these events, sell, and you're like, that's not really how it works. So your method and your input into it makes it the kind of perfect place to be. So anybody that's watching this and you should join EEC, come and join the team and post a wee message, say hello, get involved in the chat. There's so much going on.
Yeah, true that. Agreed. Yeah.
Got a real community vibe, and I really like that. And what you were saying about competition, I don't even score when I play tennis, so I'm not competing with anybody. I compete with myself, trying to sort of be better than I was the day before. And the people that I've sort of found within the group are helping me to do that, and I thank you so much for everything that you do, Fiona, and I thank you guys as well, Vera and Frank, for sort of supporting me in my mission. And I just really appreciate all the support that I'm getting from within the EEC.
You're all doing a brilliant job, and like that, it's not about me. EEC is not me. EEC is just, it's a vessel there for people to actually help them grow, and that's what I believe in, and that's what I like about it. And like that, I'm not competing with others. There's other people don't like that side of things, and they like more structure. There's plenty of other things out there for them. Now, I would just say, come along, try it. Try before you buy. If you don't like it, that's fine. I'll recommend you 5-6 other places that you can go to, because we are all different, and I love the diversity of it all. And I'm just that light shining right in your eye there, Vera.
Yeah, I can.
Just like.
That enlightenment goes from you, Fiona.
Recharging your solar panel.
No, after one.
Yeah, you've got it. See, it's coming around. Enlightenment from Fiona.
Oh, guys, thanks very much. I really enjoyed the afternoon. It was a lot longer than we all anticipated, but we got here in the end. Perseverance, that's what it's all about. Perseverance. Don't give up. Never give up on your dreams. Keep going for it, and have the right people around you to achieve it. Definitely. Very true. So thank you very much, and we'll get that out, and you can all have a little listen to it, and get in touch with Frank and Vera and Wendy, and get some help and tips from them, and buy the book, as they say. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks, Fiona. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.